Hi, welcome back. This is still the case of the Golden Idol, and maybe the end of the case of the Golden Idol, perhaps. We seem to be... there's no next chapter, dagger. I can't remember what this was called. This had a specific name from Lemuria. Anyway, there's no icon that says we can go to the next chapter. This is a nice, big, meaty graphic for part 11. I think this might be it. I think this might be the final bit. Now, will we do it all in one part, like one episode? Who knows? We can certainly try. So, I guess it's worth having a little bit of a recap on what I understand to have happened so far. The Golden Idol has sort of, as a thing, has sort of been incidental in most of the plot of the game, I guess. The fact is, the Golden Idol has passed hands several times, and it is an artifact that has abilities to kind of charge up. It looks like a little Oscar statuette. To charge up by kind of removing a sort of element or elemental effect from a thing, and then it can burst it out in some way once it's charged. So you could remove all the heat from something and then do a big, I don't know, flame burst from it. You could remove a lot of the age of something and then put that age into someone else or something else. Things like that. That's what it seems to be able to do. And sort of around the midpoint of this game, the Golden Idol became a tool for a cult, not a cult, a secret society to form a new political party which they used to gain power over, whatever country we're in. It feels very British, but there's the only specific place I think reference was Kensington Palace. That is a real place. Other than that, everything has sort of been allusions to places. But either way, so they have taken over government. There was a bit of murder and treachery involved between the other, in terms of framing and attacking the opposing parties to make this happen, as it seems. They've taken over. They're quite fascist. They've applied a system of virtues which people need to abide by, and if they don't, they get punished for them. They're sort of a merit-demerit system. And that was what this chapter was about. Now, I think what wasn't clear to me, perhaps, was whether the people being assessed for their virtues and sins were the general public, or in fact just people who were in the order. I think it might have been people in the order, but I'm not sure. We'll find out. Anyway, I did hover over this graphic, and I saw that the title of the next part is A Slight Delay in the Peaceful March to the King's Castle. Now, I'm going to dip back into this one because there was a newspaper article about... So, the Order Party... they're not called the New Order now, they're just called the Order Party. The Order Party is taken over. Clearly, they've got their thumb on the press because this is a very fawning article. The king refuses to acknowledge the authority of the party's tribunal, which is their sort of judgment panel for this virtues thing. So I think that might be more than just people who are in the order. In 2 months from this point, March 1795, the party and its supporters will participate in a peaceful march to the king's current residence to demonstrate their virtue of moderation. So we shall see, I guess, how that plays out. I mean, someone is dead. That looks like a boomer. Who's this fella? This is a member of the Brotherhood of the Hands. This is a steward. This is a Dark Hand steward. But the only Dark Hand steward I think we know is our guy, charming. Nope. He's not a master. He's a Darkhand steward. Yeah, Walter Keane, the charming bandit, who his and Dave Goran's sort of relationship to story, I think I've not quite understood. They seem to be kind of floating in and out of what their loyalties are. I don't know what their thing is, but I know that the Order do not, I think, like Walter Keane anymore. Yeah, look, he's been expelled from the Party of Order. So, and he was a Darkhand steward. So, okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it. I've chatted for nearly 6 minutes. I wanted to sort of, as we're getting to the end, I kind of wanted to set everything up. And let's see how we go. It's interesting, really, because each part is actually quite self-contained. We have a little bit of overlap with previous things in the game, but that's normally in terms of identifying people and maybe a couple of artifacts. So the ongoing story is kind of for your own enjoyment. You don't necessarily need to be following everything, excuse me, to solve the parts. Maybe you will this time. Maybe this is where it's all going to come together. So I think it's good we just assess where it's all going. And we can appreciate whatever ending it gives to us. I've been enjoying this a lot, actually. I think it's a very well-made game. I think the way it tells the story across all the parts is good. I think the puzzling is good. The clues feel satisfying. Let's go. So, the slight delay in the peaceful march to the king's castle. Whoa. Okay, so this is not a scene. This is like a map. Hang on. There we go. I turned it off so I could take a screenshot of something for the thumbnail. So these are all the things we can click on. That's a place we can go. We can go into that camp. We can go into that church or building. We can go into that building. All right, this is a meaty one. And we can go into that little settlement. So let's go left to right of the things that we can just explore with a magnifying glass. And then let's, I guess, go left to right in terms of the places we can go into and find out how meaty this really is. Do we think this is the king's place of residence? It's definitely the grandest place on the map. Right, let's figure it out. Let's go. My face is not covering anything useful right now. Alright, so this is a washerwoman. This regime has to fall. It's taken everything from me. Now, she's got a little pocket watch as well. The watch is ticking and shows 12:15. I mean, the watch certainly does not show 12:15. The watch shows 12:25. But let's take the text as gospel. A Navajar blade, because actually I think this is the graphic that's been used every time we've seen a pocket watch. Right, a Navajar blade. Interesting. Little diary, maybe? 1795, May 15th. So we are in the area when we expect the march to the King's Castle. Capital Route morning report. At 8, a newfangled insurrectionist carriage passes by. At 8:30, an individual in the insurrectionist uniform passes by on a new two-wheel contraption. I wonder if it's going to be similar to the party at James Turner's house, where we have to keep track of people's timings across the day. Let's find out. 10:15, two individuals in insurrectionist uniforms pass on horses. All right. So maybe we're going to sort of be able to understand the route. So a carriage goes by. An insurrectionist on a two-wheeled contraption goes by, maybe a bike or something, or a Segway. And then horses go by. Two go by on horses. Right. Thank you, washer lady. I'm guessing this might be the insurrectionist camp. All right. Ah, this is our man, Alistair Coke. And he's got the idol. This is how we get into character for Alistair Coke. Why are you not working, you worthless piece of garbage? I'm doing the same thing I saw Lazarus do during the merit executions. Okay, why are you not working? Holy shit! The stone isn't red or blue. What does that mean? Is it broken? It looks... I can't tell if these are just like... if these lines are fractures or just little, you know, just the way it's been drawn. And this should be... yeah, I think this is increase the age of matter. But obviously it's not charged or anything. Ew. Hang on. Sorry, very brief pause there. I just moved my keyboard slightly to the side and there was just a dead fly lying on my desk. Jeez. Right. Everything going great. Okay, so there's something up with the idol. Something we haven't seen before. It's neither charged or discharged. It's sort of nothing. Maybe it's a fake. And you've got a slightly dented saber. I'm beginning to suspect that there are going to be some murders or attacks, and we're going to have to do some weapon identification, perhaps. Okay. Okay, so he's practicing on the apple. I guess. Or he's trying to practice on the apple. Okay, let's keep going. Right, here we go. This is our first death. Okay, so a man in a helmet with numerous cuts on his body. He's not breathing, so he is dead. A slightly dented saber with some blood on it. Okay, so maybe this was either the weapon that killed him or this was the weapon he used to try and fight back. Belchester Castle, Blackfields, Crow Towers, and Woodshires. And it doesn't necessarily... oh, no. Okay, so that's that way. So where are we? So this is the dead man. Okay, so this path... right, got it. So this path here is Belchester Castle, Blackfields, Crow Towers, and Woodshires. This path is to the port, and this path is to the capital. So this goes to the port, yep. And this is going to go to the capital, which I'm going to guess is up this road. Because this also is the port. Okay, we can go into that house, so let's go to this. This is like maybe another dead body. Oh no! Oh, that's Mary! Let's go back to the dinner party. That's Mary Richards, daughter of Lothar Richards. And this is Peter Batley, who married her. Now, if you remember, in the last chapter, 2 months ago, just notice the horse running by. We can catch that in a sec. In the last chapter, someone gave up their location, I think. Let's do a quick... I'm not going to go back and forth too... well, I can't promise that. It depends on what information we need. Someone gave up... yes. So Mary's father revealed the whereabouts of Mary and Peter, who are... well, Mary is a hiding fugitive dissident, and her husband may or may not be in on it. I think her husband, Peter, actually doesn't care about much beyond himself. To be honest, based on what we've seen... alright. Let's see what Mary has to say. Oh, dear husband, you are so brave. And you've been drinking since early this morning. What will we do now? What if the evil government men find us? Ah, they are onto you. This is what... it's a harp. And this is a book with a couple of bookmarks. So this is the seal of Peter Batley. And this is the seal of... I'm not sure. So let's go green first. For you, I would fight a tiger and win. Peter Batley. 1788. Ah, we've seen this before. And then this is a little note. Mary. So later the same year. My uncle Edmund Cloudsley died in some robbery and I'm rich. Now your father will see me for the man I am. Let's marry. Okay, interesting that Edmund Cloudsley left you money. I think I would have been surprised by that. Because I believe I thought Edmund Cloudsley, in his correspondence with Peter Batley's mother, was planning to send him to the colonies so he could learn to be responsible and toughen up. So I'm surprised he would have left him a load of money. Okay, we'll see. And later in the book, become the pure flower that I know you can be for me, Edmund Cloudsley. What is this? A book of like the Cloudsley family sayings? Dear Mary, this is from Edmund. I know where your unworthy mate is hiding you. Soon I'll free you from his doughty paws and ship him to the colonies. While you I will put on a pedestal of sweetest praise, and you will become my ideal wife. That's right, Edmund was trying to woo her too, because Peter sent Edmund a letter saying, I know you fancy Mary, but you're too old. Let me marry her. Interesting. And that must be the Edmund Cloudsley seal. Okay. But, you know, she loved Peter. Worry not and continue the feast, wife. Nothing can stand in my way. I'll kill our enemies wherever we go. Sure you will, Peter. Sure you will. So this is an almost empty whiskey flask. Of course, it's another betting slip. And a small sword. Alright. And let's go. Horse. No! Ah, so this is a stamp with a 7 seal. And that is the seal of the Seven Seas Trading Company, who we know... Aren't you impressed how I'm remembering stuff? James Turner is on the board of, or was on the board of. And a little note. I have some small but pressing business to attend to at the property of our late brother Sebastian, the previous Proudby steward. So Sebastian Cloudsley was a Proudby steward. Okay. I'll be back at the camp for our 10 o'clock strategy meeting as planned. Lazarus. Now I want to go back to here and look at this again. Belchester Castle, Blackfields, Crow Towers, and Woodshires. Okay, I don't think... I was wondering if this house was actually Sebastian's house. But I don't think these names are the names that were on... Right. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So here. Blackfield. Crow Tower? Maybe. Blackfield and Crow Tower. Blackfields, Crow Towers, maybe. And by the sea. Maybe this entire green thing is. Maybe this entire green area is this. Woodshire, Crow Tower, Blackfield. Maybe all of that. No, this is not that big a sea, is it? It is just a map. Yeah, this is like a sea, not a river. Okay. Much to consider. So we've come along here. We're going along here now. We've been to this bit. So let's look at the ship, and then everything else is an area we can go inside. This is a ship. So what's to note? It's got 3 cannons and then an empty cannon hole. Maybe that's meaningful. I think this is going to require just coming back to it when we feel like we've got the clue that alludes to it. So we will. Okay. Let's start over here. Let's go left to right on places we can visit. Okay, there's nothing under my head, so don't worry about that. This is how we get out. So what are the things we can click on? We can go here and we can get... So people first. This is our fella Nicholas Maker, who was Sebastian Cloudsley's lawyer. Also was in the Brotherhood of the Masks and became sort of like an auditor or something for the Order, and seems very enthusiastic about order being kept. He seems almost giddy when people get punished. Yes, Comrade Lazarus. Yes. Comrade Lazarus has not yet returned for several hours. Comrades Alistair and James have gone to find him. If they do not return, we'll organise more search parties and find the lost. Cool. Can we go in here? Sort of. Okay, so here's a little map. I'm going to take a little screenshot of this map. I think that'll be good for me. Let's call this map chapter or part 11. Alright. So we've got Belchester Castle, Blackfield Manor, Lover's Islet. That's where Peter Batley and Mary... what's her name was? Bellwood Crossroads, the Party Camp, which is where we are now. Cloudsley Cabin, the Little Mermaid Inn. We've been there before. So Blackfield Manor was part 2 with the death of Sebastian Cloudsley. So that's where that is. In fact, I'm just going to go out. So I think that might be Blackfield Manor. And yes, it's on a river. Not at the sea, it's on the river. So there we go. So the Little Mermaid Mid is near the pier, which is interesting. Cloudsley Cabin. So Cloudsley Cabin would have been, I think, the chapter where Edmund Cloudsley was raided and died. I'm going to sneeze. I have sneezed. Before I started this chapter, I cleaned my flat and I dusted everything and stuff like that, and I think there's just something in the air. Or it's summer and it's pollen. Who knows? Okay, cool. We're going to be referring to this. This is a little idol. No, it's a little bust of Lazarus Hearst. He really worked his way up. What? This is what's maybe confusing me. Who's scheming? Who did the scheming? Because in the series of events, and I'm sorry to pause what we're doing right now, because we're coming to the end, I'm hoping I get an understanding at some point of the flow of events, because I've been confused in the beginning, because David Gorham was Edmund Cloudsley's servant, mainly dealing with outdoor stuff. Fine, we knew that. What's his name? Walter Keane. Yeah, Walter Keane. Let's do this. Let's do it from here. Walter Keane raided Edmund Cloudsley's cabin to steal the idol with a couple of goons. And David Goran fought back against that and got injured in the process. But in the next chapter, we see Walter Keane with the idol and Dave Goran helping him out, infiltrating the Brotherhood of the Masks. Now, the Brotherhood of the Masks, Walter Keane is already a member of. So we've now got David Goran helping someone who raided his master. And Walter Keane kind of pulling a fast one on the secret society he's already a member of. Now, Walter Keane brings to the secret society Lazarus Hearst, this guy who he vouches for to become an initiate, who then, these two together, I mean, God knows what happens to David Goran after this. These two together plot to make this guy the Griffin reborn, like the Prophet, whatever, to take over the Brotherhood of the Masks. And now, Lazarus Hearst forms this political party with the help of the Brotherhood and have turned against Walter Keane. And the Brotherhood were already a little bit dubious on Walter Keane. So there's this kind of like several people plotting against organizations, families, whatever they are meant to be loyal to, which is fine. You know, that's a thing that happens. I'm not saying it's a plot hole. I'm just trying to understand how it fits together. I'm trying, like, who tricked? Whose big plot is this? Is it Lazarus Hearst's plot from the beginning? Did he put all this into motion? Was it James Turner's plan? Because we know he was on the board of the Seven Seas Trading Company that got the idol, or attempted to steal the idol from Willard Wright in The Little Mermaid, and is in the Brotherhood of the Masks, and is sort of, along with Alistair Coke, sort of right-hand manding Lazarus Hurst. So, who is working the machinations across this, or is this a constant game of people betraying each other? That's what I want to know. What has been happening? Who has been devising this plan? Anyway, does that make sense? Like, in each chapter, I'm like, oh, I understand what's going on in this chapter, but I'm like, well, what happened between this chapter and the last chapter? Like, time passes, like a year, 2 years, more sometimes, between chapters. And I'm like, what has happened here? And has it happened on purpose? Has this been the plan all along? That's my question. I hope it gets answered. Right, let's look in what I assume to be a safe. Okay, so these are poison vials. We've seen these before. These are the poison vials that were used in the rituals where someone challenges someone else in the Brotherhood. I don't know what this is. So this is a note in a cage. Lazarus, you took 32 things from me, and I demand you return them. If you refuse, I'll make the story of your true origins known to the other party leaders. Okay, so maybe this is tying in. At 11:30 on May the 15th, which is today, in the game, meet me at the place the idol was stolen from our Brotherhood, and poor Willard Wright met his death. Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid. Oh yeah, that is a good point. Yes, I didn't quite clock that. The idol was in the Brotherhood's possession at the beginning because the Cloudsleys were part of the Brotherhood. So Willard Wright... Okay. So Sebastian Cloudsley, who is the guy who died in Chapter 2, and I assume got the idol from his father when he died. But he'd already given the idol, I think, to Willard Wright, or had made sure that Willard Wright would have it. And Sebastian didn't die knowingly. He fell off a horse and died. So it's not like he knew he was dying and was passing on. But anyway, Willard Wright was his associate, I'm presuming also in the Brotherhood. And then the guy for the... hang on. One of the guys at the pub, Ash Blair, who someone from the trading company had tasked with getting the idol back, or getting the idol. Okay, right. Sorry. So Ash Blair kills Willard Wright in the pub. And presumably, according to this letter, takes the idol. It was sort of unclear, but we knew the idol was missing because it wasn't in the trunk in the pub. Right, let's... So in the pub, this guy's Dave Goran, isn't it? This guy's Dave Goran. Sorry, I hadn't clicked that at all. Isn't that Dave Goran? Right, let's get some of these things up. One second. That's something. That is a big thing I missed out. So Dave Goran is out here. Ash Blair. Oh my god! I'm sure people. All right, that's a big thing I've missed. Ash Blair was a pseudonym that he based off the tobacco he likes. That was Dave Goran in the pub who killed Willard Wright. So, in the in the pub, David Goran, who is, let's remind you, Edmund Cloudsley's servant, steals, goes up here, kills Willard Wright. I presumably steals the idol out of this box, which makes a musical tone. And wakes Thingy up. Right. He then gives it to Edmund Cloudsley. Wait, let's go back to the pub again. Just briefly. This is not going to be one episode, is it? But it's fine, because we're piecing it all together. Right, where's... No. We need the note in your pocket. As an agent of our trading company, you have to reflect its values to fullest. Never be late, be persuasive, be effective. So I think he's... I think he might have taken the idol from Willard Wright, and especially seeing as that note in the current chapter says that's where the idol got taken from the Order. So now if we look at this chapter and go to Edmund Cloudsley's office, he has the idol. So I think we can assume that David Goran, posing as Ash Blair, which are his bloody tobacco that he likes... That's a big thing I was missing. So, I guess we... So, and Edmund Cloudsley is not in the Order. He's not in the Brotherhood. So, at that point, the Brotherhood... From the Brotherhood's point of view, the idol has been taken from them. And that explains why they've got these notes that are like... Give us the... You've taken our idol, I think. I think the final Vanguard might be a red herring. Right. Right. Okay. And then... And this is the strange thing. Walter Keane, thank you, steals the idol back, but doesn't tell the Brotherhood. Dave Goran gets injured. But they're either working together here or they start working together between these episodes. Because by this point, Dave Goran and Walter Keane are pulling a fast one on the Order to get Lazarus in there. Right, sorry, back to here. So this note says, Lazarus, you took 32 things from me. I demand you return them. La, 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 la. I'll let your true origins known, which I'm interested in. Meet me at the Little Mermaid. Bring proof, something personal of yours, and to give to the Veiled Woman. Tie your reply to the pigeon and release it from the cage. It will find me. So can we presume that there was a pigeon in this cage with the note, and perhaps Lazarus has obliged because there's no pigeon in here anymore. Okay, so this is Edmund Cloudsley's research book. Now, previously we've seen it with little bookmarks indicating different types of spells you can use with the idol, but now it seems to have bookmarks with people's initials on. Dave Goran, Nicholas Maker, Thingy Coke, Alistair Coke, James Turner, and Walter Keane. Look at me remembering stuff. Aren't you proud? Maybe you haven't seen other series I've done, but remembering people's names and what they've been up to is not a strong suit, which maybe is not the greatest way to go into mystery and detective games, which is what I tend to play at the moment. I don't know. Let's go round. Even though it's not left to right, when I've got these bookmarks, I've tended to go this way round. So let's continue that. So this is David Goran. Since his success at the Mermaid Inn has proven to be since his success at the Mermaid Inn, he has proven to be resourceful and discreet professional. So these are Edmund Clownsley's notes on these people, I believe. So just to reiterate, because we've been through this, David Goran got the idol for Edmund Clownsley at the Mermaid Inn. That's what this is referring to, the chapter we just looked at. Nicholas Maker. Cowardly, but dutiful. Useful up to a limit. Alistair Coke. Pompous and vain, but being a military man is ready to obey and ready to kill. James Turner. Greedy and hedonistic. Requires constant material motivation to cooperate. Interesting. So he's kind of like... A lot of these are assessments on how loyal people are to him, how persuasive he needs, like what he needs to do to get them to do what he wants, essentially. And Walter Keane. Ambitious and inventive, but treacherous as many smart people are. Yeah. Okay. Right, now this looks like the newfangled carriage type thing that someone referenced go by. I think which is interesting because... this one. A newfangled insurrectionist carriage passes by. An individual insurrectionist passes by on a new two-wheeled contraption, and two individuals in insurrectionist pass on horses. So, newfangled insurrectionist carriage and new two-wheeled contraption. This has got 3 wheels. This looks like a newfangled carriage. Is that what? Oh God, I pressed the wrong thing. Nope, we're not looking like that. This is what we do. This is the button we want to press. So a newfangled insurrectionist carriage. So I think that's what that is. So I wonder if that means what that's suggesting is the carriage was going this way. I don't know how important it is to know that. But obviously if the carriage was going this way, it wouldn't be here. She's already seen it. So we want also two-wheeled contraption and 2 individuals in uniform on horses. So there are some carriages here. So maybe actually not. Maybe one of these carriages has left. Maybe to go to the Mermaid Inn. Maybe this is the kind of thing that Lazarus Hearst travels in because you can't really see in it. Okay, but these look the same. These look like the same graphics because we can see those little horny bits that are here. It's very hard to tell. Okay, moving along. Let's go into this building, which I believe is the cabin in the woods from chapter whatever, 4 or something. And we've got... Well, let's just click the things. A newly invented transportation device. Aha, this is the two-wheeled thingamajiggy. An old-fashioned bicycle with a cozy little cushion. So that's to get back out. We can go in. This guy is moving. Damn, you cunning devil. You'll find me in the place where we 2 first met. Then we can talk. I wonder if this is Dave Goran. And I wonder if this is Walter Keane. Oh, I recognize that voice. It is you. Isn't it poetic that you've fallen for the same trap you did all those years ago? Straw men are your bane. So time has passed, so Walter Keane may well be greying now. Walter Keane was a Dark Hand steward, which is exactly what these markings mean. So we were just talking about this. We were talking about the fact that in the raid chapter, which took place in this building, Walter Keane, with a couple of goons, raided the building to get the idol off Edmund Cloudsley. They clubbed Dave Gorin on the head, took the idol, and in the next chapter, Walter Keane and Dave Gorin appear to be in cahoots. So this is suggesting that they weren't in cahoots before that night, because this is where they first met. So I'm wondering if Walter Keane charmed Dave Gorin into working together. Maybe he told him the grander scheme and convinced him. Or lied to him. Because it seems like, from this point of view, it's like he's easily suckered. Okay, what's this? A bullet hole, perhaps? So maybe the first shot missed. Loaded pistol. An empty pistol. Interesting. And we can go up. We can go in. And I'm guessing that's out. Yeah, that's out. So let's go up. Oh, that's weird. That is weird. Why are there no, who cares? Right. Remember this? This is the scarecrow that they put in the coffin as a trick. That's a bullet lodged in the wall. So the bullet came through the glass on the outside and hit the wall on the inside. So we know the bullet was shot from the outside in. I think that's what that clue is. A scarecrow with a hole through its head. And it went through the scarecrow. So it came from this direction. Okay. A white pigeon. Interesting. I admit I may have treated you unjustly after a long cooperation. I'll come along in peace so we can discuss your compensation. I mean, this isn't going to be the bird. So in the Lazarus camp, there was a note to Lazarus. I think, let's go back actually. Sorry, let me just recall what this said. Lazarus, yeah. 11:30 at the place where the idol was stolen from our brotherhood and poor Willard Wright met his death. So that is the Little Mermaid. So that's so this bird thing, this bird in here is, I think, unrelated. Why would it be here? I think it's a different bird, but maybe for the same purpose. I will come along in peace so we can discuss your compensation. So I think this may be Dave Gorin. A note sent from Dave Gorin to Walter Keane. And Dave Gorin's come along and bam, Walter shot him. I think that's the... Okay. I'm just trying to... Yeah, I think these arrows stay yellow even if you've seen everything. I don't think that's an indication. Okay, we've got 2 more hints to find. So let's go into this house. It's the final place we can look. Oh, it's this place. Yeah. I mean, I said it was this place, but we're... Same view. Wow, everything's been just raided and torn apart. A pile of mangled and burned corpses. So this is the newfangled carriage. So that, I think, must have left the camp. Oh, that's just the way out. Sorry. Oh. An empty cannon. Are we to presume the cannon shot from... And then this thing is outside. So we think maybe the newfangled... That's the newfangled carriage. We think it came past her at 8. tootle along down here. Past him. I guess it must have gone up here and down here. It's facing this way though. So I think maybe it came along here. Not sure. There's still two things two clues we can add to this, so we're missing something. So this is Sebastian Cloudsley's house, if you don't remember. Oh, we haven't got in The Little Mermaid. Oh, these two are still playing. Some things never change. Right, this guy's name is... John Briage. Cannot believe I fell for the Ash Blair Dave Gorin thing. What a fool. What a fool. Okay. Nonsense. I'm not an idiot, but real men like us could beat those Order Party ninnies even without weapons. He's got a hand of cards. He's got 2 Albion Franks. The currency has changed since the New Order. And a small sword. And this is our old friend Annie Green. But I heard rumours you lost a cannon while gambling. Small hand of cards, Albion Franks, Stiletto Blade. Who are you? I feel like I sort of recognise you, but maybe not. Do you think they'll try and kidnap the king? Me and my employer are out, getting out of this blasted country. So this is an Edmund Cloudsley embroidered handkerchief. Oh, this is bloody Ada Smith, right? Ada Baker. I think this is Ada Baker from the Dinner Party chapter. She used to work for Edmund Cloudsley. But also tried to kill him, so, you know. A small simple key, a dagger, hand of cards, and... I've instructed him to arrive at around 11:30. Most likely he'll be in Order Party uniform. If he comes alone, without backup outside, approach him. If he gives you something that belonged to the one who escaped your tonic, you may proffer him the instruction I gave you. Conceal your face. He may recognise you. Right, so... I think this might be a Walter Keane plot. Because we're pretty sure Walter Keane is the one that instructed her to poison Edmund Cloudsley in the Dinner Party episode. That was who we think the note was from. It's not confirmed, but it was from a Dark Hand Steward, which is what Walter Keane is. So, the person who escaped her tonic was Edmund Cloudsley. So who's coming, who we think is... Well, Lazarus was invited to make the exchange. So, if Lazarus comes alone, approach him. If he gives you something that belongs to the one who escaped your tonic, if he gives you something that belongs to Edmund Cloudsley, the idol, you may proffer him the instruction slip I gave you. Conceal your face, he may recognise you. I'm just going to quickly... Idiot. Remind myself of what was asked of Lazarus. 32 things from me. Return them. Come along and bring proof. Something personal of yours. Give it to the veiled woman. So, Ada Baker is going to be veiled, as Ada Baker was just instructed. Come along, bring proof. Something personal of yours. Give it to the veiled woman. I demand you return them. 32 things. 32 things. That's a curious one, isn't it? So let's have a look at her again. Does she have anything in her possession that... So there's nothing that belongs to Lazarus Hurst in her pocket, which suggests that perhaps he hasn't arrived yet. Her face is unveiled, though, and you might suspect she would keep her face veiled until he arrived so she couldn't be caught out. Is this out? I think these are both out, aren't they? Yeah, we can't go upstairs this time. So, what do you have to say? Oh, those order rats sneaking around here. This is no good. They'll just blackmail him and bugger off. And that's the final word. So we got kitchen knife, peeled lemon, various keys, because he's the landlord. And in the book, May 14th, yesterday. Dandelion room, Ada Baker, 2 nights. Forget-me-not room, Walter Naught, 2 nights. Walter Naught. Is that our guy Walter Keane? Unclear. All right. So those are all the clues. Let's figure out what we've got to figure out. Okay, so we've got people along the top. What is happening? Oh, okay. So these are quick ways to jump to different chapters. So we are going to have to like maybe figure some. We are going to have to kind of dance around a bit to piece things together. Okay, that's fine. How do I get rid of that? That is permanently there now. I'm sure that's fine. Right. Okay, so these are just 4 scrolls. So we've got 3 scrolls over here. One describes something that happened in the morning. One describes something that happened before noon. One describes something that happened in the afternoon. And then over here, we've got 1 scroll that describes morning, noon, and afternoon. Or morning, late morning, and afternoon as one sort of story. How do we even start? So let's have a look at this first. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, my head. One sec. My head's back. That was weird. Here I am, back at the top. Sorry about that. Right, I'll put me there for the moment. Let's have a little read through these so we can kind of have a think in our mind about how these might work. So, this scroll here. Early in the morning, someone went to the somewhere to something someone because someone wanted to someone the blankety blank. Okay. Before noon, someone and someone went out to try and something someone. Instead, they found something at the somewhere. On the way back, they started to something over it. Oh my god. In the afternoon, someone went to the somewhere to something someone because someone had tried to something someone to get back his something. Oh my god. Right, and then over here, early in the morning, someone killed someone at somewhere. Before noon, someone killed someone at somewhere. And in the afternoon, someone killed someone at somewhere. Okay, so that might be the easiest place to start, possibly. But we don't... It's the timings. It's the timings. So let's go back to our old friend, Washerwoman. So all of this happened in the morning. Newfangled carriage passes by. We think that's the carriage that destroyed Blackfield Manor or whatever it's called. Or at least invaded Blackfield Manor. These guys... Is this a booby trap? Feels like a booby trap. Who was here? Is it a booby trap or was someone literally here? 3 people have died. So let's make an assumption. 3 people were on this newfangled carriage. Now, I don't think the newfangled carriage has weapons. I think this is just like a sort of steam engine kind of device that propels it. It's like an early motor car sort of thing. They run through the door. This cannon goes off. Bam. Destroys them. Destroys the window. Destroys some of this area. I think that's what's happened here. I'm going to assume someone actually was here to do that. Because it's very... I'm assuming it's quite hard to rig a cannon to explode. So what... So there's not... I'm trying to work out which one of these things this scenario most likely is connected to. We know from the washer lady that the newfangled carriage left the camp around 8. And then at 8:30, an individual in an Insurrex uniform went in the 2-wheeled contraption. So 8:30, Dave Goran, I think, went to meet Walter Keane. And he went on a bicycle, so it probably took him a little while. This is the tricky part. Where's my little... Right. So we're currently here. The party camp's here, so the bicycle has to go all the way along here. We don't know how long that takes. We know it's going to take longer than the newfangled contraption, right? Because the newfangled contraption is basically a car. So what happened at Cloudsley Cabin, I'm going to make the assumption happened after what happened at Blackfield Manor. So maybe this is going to be the easier one to place. I think this one, before noon, Walter Keane killed David Goran at the cabin. I think that's what's happening there. Wait, let's start simple. Who were the deaths? David Goran died. Random soldiers died. It's not Alistair Coke, because Alistair Coke is... Ah, here's another death. We'll get to that in a sec. Alistair Coke is here. Why does he have the idol? He's got a sword. Is this Lazarus Keane? I mean, it's unclear where he would have been going. I don't think this is Lazarus Keane. I mean, firstly, why was he walking alone? Secondly, if he wanted to go to Little Mermaid, he would have gone this way. And I don't think he made it to the Little Mermaid because Ada doesn't have anything on her that belongs to him. I heard rumours you lost a cannon while gambling. You lost a cannon while gambling, and there was a cannon in the Blackfield Manor. Okay. We'll figure this out. What's the significance of this? Anything? Right. So why do you have the idol? You're on a horse. 2 individuals in insurrectionist uniforms pass on horses. Right. Hang on. 2 people pass on horses. So what if Walter Keane and Alistair Coke leave... Not Walter Keane. Lazarus Hurst and Alistair Coke leave the camp together on horseback in uniform. At, what is it, 10 o'clock or some shit? 10:15. And Alistair Coke betrays him to get the idol. And that's why we see the horse running by itself. I have some small pressing business to attend to at the property of our late brother Sebastian, the previous Proud Beast steward. I'll be back at the camp for 10 o'clock strategy meeting as planned. So maybe Lazarus has gone too. Maybe Lazarus has gone to the the manor. Right. Time for a spreadsheet. I'm going to just put this information together so I can just see it all at once. Quick pause. Maybe you want to see what I'm doing. I realised as I was typing this out, I've kind of sort of set it up in this way. I don't know if this format's going to work for everything, but let's sort of put it together. So I've started with the washerwoman, who gives us the most specific information about where people are. We've got these 3 guys leaving, and this is from the note Lazarus got. He said, meet us at 11:30 at the Little Mermaid. Also, it's like bring something of yours, I think. Let's go double check that little bit of information. Bring proof something personal of yours. Yeah, okay. So that's a little bit of information we're going to be looking for. And then we've just got later. So let's go. So the later is going to be the tricky bit. I think I'm just going to put later. I think I want to write something like, with something personal. Let's do that. Suspicion. So, sorry. So I think on a bike, this is what it's meant to say. So we suspect this is David Goran. I suspect this is Coke and Lazarus or James, I think. Why was the reason I thought it was James? I started to think this in my head before I paused the recording. I think it was because I think Lazarus is going to be over here. Because Lazarus says... somewhere he's got business to attend to. Where does he say that? Someone says it. This is where the horse is running by. So let's add that quickly. Riderless horse. Running. And that is at... let's get rid of that. That's going to be annoying me. Lover's Islet. Coke's riding partner, let's say, because we don't know who that is yet. Yeah, let's stick with what we know, and then let's go to the stuff we don't know. So also later, man, blade wound at the crossroads. Are we calling that the crossroads? Yeah, Bellwood Crossroads. Coke's riding partner killed by Coke. Now let's just continue filling in the stuff that we can fill in. So this is later. Newfangled carriage at, let's just say manor, that's easier. Soldiers killed by cannon within. I'm going to just wrap that text. I might also wrap this text as well. Yeah, why not? Let's wrap some text. Right. I hate. Sorry, I'm being really annoying. I have little particulars. I want it to be that way around. I don't like that spreadsheets drop things to the bottom. That justify all the text and stuff to the bottom by default. I don't understand why. I don't like it. It's good for titles, but bad for everything else. Right. I know this is probably not what it's designed to do. Doesn't matter. This is at the manor. Might as well give it its name. Whoops. Blackfield Manor. Blackfield Manor. Suspicion. Now, what do we suspect? We don't know yet. But Lazarus... Now, this is where we go back to... Where did I find the thing that said Lazarus? No, none of you would have it. There's only so many people. You'll find me at the place where we first two met. That's fine. Maybe this must be it. No. Where the hell was that note? And why is that ship important? You haven't got a note. You haven't got a note. What am I missing? There is a note where Lazarus suggests he has to go to the place where Sebastian first had the idol, right? Shoot, bam, through the scarecrow on the inside into the wall. That's an interesting detail. Oh, it's on the horse. I have a small but pressing business to attend to at the property of our late brother Sebastian, the proud beast servant. I'll be back at the camp for 10 o'clock meeting as planned. So let's say 10 o'clock. Lazarus intends to be at meeting at the camp. Nope. Camp. Not leaving. How do we do before 10? So I think this suspicion is Lazarus. Brother Sebastian was the previous Proud Beast steward. Does that mean Lazarus is referring to himself as the current Proud Beast steward? It's interesting he's not a master. I mean, if so, that would be interesting that he wasn't a master. Considering he's the Griffin Rising or whatever. Griffin Reborn. And soldiers. I'm calling them soldiers. I don't think they are soldiers, but you know, it's just helping me because they've got the helmets and stuff on and all that. Now, I want to filter. That means I can just do that as required. Lazarus intends to be at meeting. No suspicions about that. So this is James Turner's horse. That's why I thought it was James Turner. That's James Turner's horse. So let's go back to this. And James. I don't know why I think I wrote ACOG because it just felt shorter somehow. Killed by Coke. James is. And maybe I'll add a little evidence thing just so I can, if I ever ask myself why I think that. 7 Seas seal, which James had in a different chapter. Okay. Also later, Alistair. Alistair Coke holding idol, which is broken for some reason. And where is he holding the idol, you may ask? He's holding the idol at... I don't know, actually. Road to camp, I guess. Suspicion is he took it from James? Oh, hi, everyone. It's me, the episode has run long guy, here to tell you that the episode has run long. Very long, in fact. I noticed it running long as I was recording, and I was like, maybe it'll end soon. It did not end soon. So, we're going to call this one here, chop it in half-ish. You're going to get the rest of it tomorrow. It's good. It's a good chapter. So stay tuned. There are some... My brain starts braining. Revelations. Deductions. Stay tuned. And we'll finish this up tomorrow. Or whenever this comes out. Next episode.